Imagine you're sitting in your backyard on a humid, hot summer's evening, trying to enjoy a little bit of time outside. All of a sudden, you feel an annoying prick on your arm. You look down to find the source of your discomfort, and the culprit is none other than an annoying mosquito. You quickly smack the mosquito away with your hand and instantly resist the urge to scratch this small red welt that's already developing on your arm. Aside from the small bite itself, you escape your encounter with the mosquito relatively unscathed, and you go about the rest of your day as if nothing happened. And over the course of the next couple hours, you even forget that it's there. As the days go on, your health begins to deteriorate. You develop a fever, a rash, your joints ache, and you're worried about your health. So you decide to go to a healthcare professional and see a doctor. Your doctor then diagnoses you, and he tells you that you in fact have contracted dengue fever, which is a mosquito-borne illness transmitted through infected mosquitoes. You've never heard of this before, and the doctor in fact tells you that dengue fever can develop into severe dengue fever, which can then cause damage to the heart, liver, and lungs, as also stated by the CDC. As a future healthcare worker, I've had to learn about the different diseases that mosquitoes can in fact cause. Also, as a native Floridian for the past 21 years, I've lived next to some pretty muggy, humid, and marshy areas, which is in fact where these insects thrive. And I say I've had my fair share of mosquito bites over the past couple years. And I can even attest that just because mosquito-borne illnesses are not as prevalent in our area as they are in other areas of the world, it is still an issue that is just as important that we need to try to prevent for the betterment of all. And we can actually do this by becoming what's called a citizen scientist. A citizen scientist is somebody like you or I who is interested in local projects and experiments having to do with different scientific research. This is according to the website SciStarter that actually has developed the program of citizen scientists. So this can include the preservation of different endangered species of animals, how to keep different areas of water clean, or even the prevention of diseases, such as what this project is all about. So, you act as an extra pair of eyes for these researchers, and you actually help provide them with different types of data, whether that be through pictures, logging, or even videos. And actually, there is a project having to do with mosquito-borne illnesses called Mosquito Alert that you can participate in as a citizen scientist. But before we get into that, and we talk about what Mosquito Alert does, it is very important to understand what different mosquito-borne illnesses do to people all around the world and what their effects are. There are many different types of mosquito-borne illnesses. The one that you have probably heard of the most, there's one called malaria. Malaria happens to affect many people in the African region. In fact, 2020, there were 229 million cases of malaria alone, which eventually led to 409,000 malaria-related deaths. Malaria affects the red blood cells in the body, which can lead to jaundice and anemia. The CDC states that if malaria is left unchecked, it can actually cause seizures, delirium, renal failure, and eventually coma and death. It is one of the most prevalent mosquito-borne illnesses and one that should be taken extremely seriously. The CDC also states that over half of the world's population, 51% of almost 7.6 billion people, can be infected by mosquito-borne illnesses, which is many, many people. Another disease caused by mosquitoes is obviously what we talked about in the beginning of this presentation, called dengue fever. In 2020, there were 17,249 cases of dengue fever. There were no related deaths, but still that is many, many cases of an outbreak of dengue fever, and we already talked about the negative effects that dengue fever can have upon the body, such as the damage to the heart, liver, and lungs. Another mosquito-borne illness that affects many, many people worldwide is known as Zika. Zika may not have any effect on you or me as an adult, but if you're a pregnant mother, Zika is something to be very concerned about. Zika can be contracted while a woman is pregnant, and she can pass it through her umbilical cord to her fetus. Zika can then infect the fetus, which later causes a disease called microcephaly, and we'll talk a little more about that later. Now, all of these show why it is so important for us to care about mosquito-borne illnesses. So now we can talk about what we can do to help the prevention of mosquito-borne illnesses. Mosquito Alert is a citizen scientist project that we can participate in order to help stop the prevention, in order to prevent mosquito-borne illnesses. So what you do is you can actually find mosquitoes in your local area. You can take pictures of them and upload them to the Mosquito Alert app. Here, after your pictures have been uploaded, the mosquitoes will actually be evaluated and identified by professional entomologists. Because of this, the entomologists are able to record that data and location of where these mosquitoes were found that could potentially carry all of these illnesses. And it can help us manage where these illnesses are most prevalent within the United States. The website is extremely easy and provides many helpful images, such as the one seen here, which shows many different images of mosquitoes that could carry mosquito-borne illnesses. The first two are the most prevalent, which would be the tiger mosquito and the yellow fever mosquito, which happen to carry the most diseases of all the mosquitoes. That is what the Mosquito Alert is looking for. And with our participation, we can help find areas where these mosquitoes are actually the most prevalent, and we can also give information if we see breeding areas of these mosquitoes to help prevention of all these diseases in the future. We are trying to make the world a better place. Mosquito-borne illnesses isn't something that comes to mind when you think of global illnesses, but the benefits of mosquito disease research prevention is fantastic. You have less disease-carrying mosquitoes, which means less mosquito-borne illnesses-related cases. For example, this would mean a decrease in the number of Zika cases that we see worldwide, which would decrease the number of infants microcephaly that we see. Microcephaly is a disease that we see prevalent in young children, where infants are born with a significantly smaller head than normal babies. These infants are then susceptible to seizures, cognitive and developmental disabilities, hearing and vision loss. And unfortunately, all mosquito-borne illnesses target immune systems that are not fully developed, which is mostly found in young children. So this is my call to action. We can make this world a better place by helping prevent these disease-ridden